Hello everyone and welcome aboard Tech Gamer Airlines. In today's video, we're going to find out how high you can actually fly an F-14 fighter jet in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm super excited to check this out and see what this amazing plane can actually do. So stay tuned, we'll be right back. Let's do this. Okay everyone, welcome back. So here we are in Microsoft Flight Simulator. This is being played on a Microsoft Xbox Series X. In this video, we're going to find out how high an F-14B fighter jet can actually fly in this amazing virtual flight simulator compared to what it's like in the real life. So let's find out here. So let's go ahead and select world map. We're going to select our departure runway. Now this is Morristown Municipal Airport in northern New Jersey, and it is one of my favorite airports. For purposes of this flight test, you can select wherever you want. I'm going to select runway 13, so set as departure. My arrival, we can land anywhere. We'll say it's going to be runway 5. Move down a little bit here so I can actually select it. Set as arrival. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about the F-14B. So the F-14B, also known as the Tomcat, is a multi-role fighter jet that was first introduced in the 1970s. It has been flying for almost 50 years in one way or another, and has been made immensely popular in movies like Top Gun. Most of you have seen it. Some of you may not know what it is, but it is an awesome multi-role fighter jet. And by multi-role, I mean it can do things like ground support, air support, defensive capabilities, super fast flying. It is extremely agile and quick despite its massively large size. So the max altitude on this particular fighter jet, according to Flight Simulator, is 60,000 feet. That I'm not sure I exactly believe, because I am very familiar with the F-14B Tomcat. I've actually been in one and flown in one before, and they are really cool. The max ceiling on an F-14B, depending on optimal flight conditions, is somewhere between 50,000 and 55,000 feet. So I think 60,000 feet might be a bit of a stretch, but we're going to find out here. So let's see what happens. Alright, so we are ready to fly. Let's just check the weather. We are set for clear skies, 1:03 in the afternoon, and good to go. So this is going to start us out on runway 13. Now, if you're interested in seeing how to start up a fighter jet in Microsoft Flight Simulator, or any other plane, jet, propeller plane, helicopter, check out some of the other videos on my playlist for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I've got detailed step-by-step walkthroughs on how to start up airplanes, and it's really cool if you're into that amazing detail and realism in Flight Simulator. But for purposes of this video, we'll start out with the plane online and ready to go with our clearances. So we are cleared for takeoff here. So what you saw behind me was the jet exhaust, and the graphics simulator is on to show where your jet exhaust looks like. That's really useful for helicopters and stuff like that. For purposes of this video, I think I'll actually leave it on so we can see what it looks like here. As you can see, runway is good, everybody's clear. We are ready to fly. So the first thing we need to do is disengage the parking brake. Bring the throttle up to 100%. So we've achieved takeoff thrust. Airspeed is alive. And we are at V1. Let's rotate. We've got a positive rate. So let's go ahead and put the landing gear up.
traffic, runway 5, tech number 1.
As you can see, we are getting up there in altitude. We are coming up on 6,000 feet. See, we can switch to the back seat here, get some other views. Kind of cool. Show you what some other views look like here. Lots of different angles you can get. I prefer to fly from the front seat. Just to show you where we're at here. We are passing 20,000 feet. You can actually ignore the set altimeter for purposes of this flight. It'll automatically do it. So let's engage the afterburner. We are zipping now. There we go, and get back to this view. Alright, so let's take this bird as high as we can take it. So we are coming up on 30,000 feet. Airspeed is good. Engines are at 100%. Wings are level. You can actually see down below Manhattan. So we are passing 43,000 feet. We're at 45,000 feet now. The wings are coming out because we are starting to slow down, like I figured as much. We're going to max out at about 50,000 feet here. I didn't think this plane could reach 60,000 feet. Trying not to overstress the aircraft here. So let's try and get it to... So we are at 50,000 feet here. As you can see, we've got some nice views. So let's see if we can keep it going. We're basically approaching stall speed here, minimums. I've got the flaps in a position to help with drag. So yeah, we're about 50,000 feet. So that's basically what I figured. That the F-14 can fly at about the highest you're really going to get is about 50,000 feet. And again, at this altitude, you're not going to run into a lot of other players. So let's see if we can head back to the runway now and land. We'll slow it down here. So my airspeed is super low, like I said, because we're basically at stall speeds. So there's our airport here. It's going to be a bit of a bumpy ride. We got to get down in altitude here. So we're coming down. We're at past 40,000 feet there. And we're going to see if we can land this plane back at Morristown Municipal Airport here. Some beautiful views today. So we'll throttle the engines down here. We don't want to come in too fast. So the F-14's very fast, very heavy plane, so landing it is a little bit tricky, and it takes some getting used to, because like I said, it's a fighter jet and it wants to move, but you got to be patient and watch your speeds, because if you don't, you're going to have a really rough time landing. So we're at 30% of rated thrust for the engines, and we'll have a little fun here. Burn off some of that forward speed. So because I'm going really fast here, landing this plane might be a little bit tricky. I got to burn off a lot of this forward speed here. I'm going to have to circle the runway once or twice here to burn off some of this excess speed, which we're doing pretty good at, actually. So I'm getting some warnings there. You know what we're going to do? So there's the runway. You can see where we took off. We're going to bring it around, do a giant circle, and then burn off some of this excess speed. You can see our runway there. So there's nobody around, so we can take our time landing here. Oh, we are cleared to land on runway 5. Awesome.
Cleared to land runway 5, tech number 1.
So that's runway 5 is the long one. So what we're going to do is fly parallel to the runway a little bit here. We'll go ahead and bring our landing gear down here. So landing gear is coming down. So we're going to go ahead and make a nice turn over this lake here. Bring it around to line up with the runway. So we're about 4.2 nautical miles away from the runway. Because we want to get a nice soft landing. So the gear is down and locked. Turning around to line up with the runway. People must be looking up wondering why that plane's flying so low and is so incredibly loud. Alright, let's see if we can get lined up with the runway here. There's runway 5, right to the right there. And we're going to get in position here to line up on a tight final approach. Not going to be my best landing, but it'll work. And rotate in. There we go. Wasn't my best landing, but we made it. And we'll apply the brakes for a nice, gentle slow down. Well, there we go. So we did a high altitude test in Microsoft Flight Simulator. We took an F-14 up to 50,000 feet. Now the maximums in this game say it's 60,000 feet, but like I said, that does not seem feasible. It didn't, and which I kind of figured it wouldn't be. And we kind of proved that right. So we'll head on to the taxiway here. And head back to our parking spot. We're going to go ahead here and make sure that there are no planes crossing, which we've already got our taxi clearances, so there shouldn't be. Oh, we're good. We'll make a right turn here onto this taxiway. And head back to the parking area. So by now we would have collected a bunch of metrics and data on this high altitude test flight, which would be used for processing and informational studies. So we're going to turn into the parking area up here now. We'll make the second left. Tapping the brakes just a little bit here. And we'll go ahead and park it right up here. And we'll make a right-hand turn here. And we'll go ahead and park it right over here. Alright, so we've reached our parking area. So let's go ahead, we'll throttle down, hit the brakes, and we are stopped. Alright, let's set the parking brake. Parking brake set. Now this doesn't always work. But let's see if we can shut this plane down using the checklist. So let's open up the checklist. Takeoff, cruise, descent, approach, landing. After landing, securing. So let's go ahead and hit auto complete page. The plane is secured, and we are ready to exit this plane and get it ready for its next flight. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed this video. We took a F-14B Tomcat up to its maximum altitude in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and we achieved around 50,000 feet, which was totally awesome. Hope everybody enjoyed this video. As always, if there is anything you would like to see, drop a comment down below, and I will do my best to make that happen. Make sure you click like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm going to have new and exciting content coming soon. Thanks a lot, everybody. I will see you around. Keep on gaming.